Ladies and gentlemen, Andy and Imi here. We date and sleep with women together in threesomes, exploring BDSM and kink. Here to help you do all of that too. So, woman, you like
Right.
older men.
Yep.
And we're going to do a little video here today because I get this question a lot where there's a guy that's maybe a little bit older, maybe in his 30s, maybe even his 40s, and he wants to date younger women, in their 20s, but he feels like it's wrong or that he's missed the boat or it's too late for him or younger women won't be interested in him, they'll be creeped out. And yes, there are some younger women that are not interested in older men. Oh my God, women are different and some of them have different preferences to each other, which means there are plenty of younger women out there that want older guys. And so this video is basically, I guess, permission for the older guys out there that want to go out there and put themselves out there and talk to some younger women. Because when you and I met, how old were you?
I was 18,
And I was 30?
30.
30, yeah. And you specifically were seeking older guys on Tinder. Like literally you had changed your age range preferences.
Yeah, or I'd extended it because I think it
Yeah.
naturally sets to something a little bit
Mm.
lower. I was definitely seeking somebody who basically had their shit together and that tended to screen in some older guys.
Yeah.
Guys that knew what they wanted, were probably a little bit more assertive. Again, I think it can be summed up very well and just had their shit together.
Yeah. Would you say confidence comes into that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, like, it's not a guarantee. Like, there's plenty of 30-year-old train wrecks. But I think if you are like somebody out there, like a guy that is like does have those shit together, like has a decent job, has a decent apartment, like just having some basic things can be very attractive, especially to somebody who is 18 when most of the people you're surrounded with don't exactly have their lives together. Like most
Yeah.
of them are
Younger
uni
guys and
students, have
younger
just come
girls.
out of school, are living with parents, like, and those are the things that aren't super attractive or definitely weren't attractive to me at the time. And especially when I was seeking out kink and BDSM, like I didn't necessarily trust that a, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-old guy was going to have a hell of a lot of experience dominating women. Like I think part of, for me especially, like what I was seeking out, that like dominant male figure, like somebody to take the lead, I wanted to trust that they knew what they're doing or at
Mm.
least had some sort of experience so that I could let go.
Yeah. And so for any older guys out there who want to start dating younger women, you have a lot of these qualities already without even realizing it. Like a lot of older guys come to us, guys in their 30s, and they're like, I don't have a lot of experience, or maybe even I'm a virgin. I've never slept with anyone. I don't have confidence. Why would any younger women or women in general want me? And it's like, because without even realizing it, man, you have more confidence than an 18-year-old guy or a 20-year-old guy. Without even realizing it, you are automatically going to have certain things like a job, an apartment, and you go, yeah, of course, I'm like in my 30s. And if you don't have those things, that's fine, but I would probably work on getting those things pretty soon if you're in your 30s, maybe. But you probably have a lot of that stuff already. To some degree, you have your life together. You have a certain self awareness that younger guys just don't fucking have. And no hate to any younger guys. I was exactly the same. But if you're, I guess here's something for the younger guys. If you're a 20 something year old guy listening to this right now, I promise that will get better. You will become more confident as you hit your 30s. You'll really start to understand yourself. You won't be so caught up in all of this self doubt and all of that. So, just in general, as an older guy, you do start to get your shit together a little bit without even realizing it, without massively intentionally trying, just as a product of having lived a life for 10 years longer than a 20 something. All right, so let's maybe brainstorm some ideas. Like, I'm curious what specifically it was that you liked about older guys.
I think again, it really just came down to having a little bit more experience, more confidence, a few basic criteria. I think as well, like if you're going to have casual sex, like having your own apartment is a great thing to have. And obviously, you had your own, and there's still people in their 30s that house share. But like a good example was there was another guy that was roughly your age that
Hmm.
I saw before you because you were the second person that I'd been off Tinder. And funnily enough, he was like you in quite a lot of ways, like was exploring kink and there are a few things going on there, but I think what made me more attracted to you and I was more eager to see you and keep seeing you, there were a few things, but one of the main ones was that you had your own space because
Hmm.
he was house sharing
Hmm.
and it felt like we had to be quiet a lot because he did have a housemate and there was like a bit of, I guess, discomfort there.
Hmm.
And then the second thing being that he wasn't very happy with his work situation and would complain about it a lot. And even though the sex was good and other things were like there was elements of compatibility there, and like I said, things were very similar. He was a similar age to you as well. The things that I was finding the most attractive was that self-assuredness, that dominance, and also not like I didn't necessarily, especially for casual sex, didn't want to be with somebody that was a bit whingy.
And complain. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like a fun, light, happy, enjoyable sexual experience. And again, I think if you are somebody that's, self-development minded, has some self-awareness, like you said before, as a product of time and having those qualities, you're naturally going to work towards having various areas in your life feeling quite stable or developed.
Yeah, we talk about this on the channel all the time, guys. You'll have no idea how much of a difference it makes having a little bit more of a positive mindset, and women too. Jesus fucking Christ. If you just work on having a more positive mindset, like grab the Play to Win video course. There's a link in the description below to that. Stuff like that, and working on being a happier, healthier person with a happier, healthier mindset. My God, that makes such a difference in dating. Like so many times, someone will not want to sleep with you because the sex is amazing, you seem like a cool person, all of that, but you're just negative or you're not fun and easy and chill to be with. It's like people forget the casual bit of casual dating. And the same thing applies, obviously, to full-on relationships.
Yeah, 100%. And like the other thing, and I know you touched on it at the beginning, but yes, there is the chance that some of the women that you might hit on or match with on apps, like they're not all going to be into older guys.
Obvious, such an obvious statement, yeah. But guys will take the one or two women who are like, oh, no thanks, I don't like older guys. Or no thanks, you're maybe a little bit too old for me. And they're like, oh my God, I'm too old. I'm too old. She said she literally said I'm
Yeah.
too old. And it's like, for her though, bro. She literally said for her. She's one woman. For her.
Yeah, you start making generalizing statements that all women aren't going to be into me. And the funny thing is, like, the more that you obsess about an age gap or that you're older than a woman,
You make
like,
it fucking weird if you obsess about it, yeah.
and yeah, there's a very good chance, like, that if you talk about it or bring it up too much, that she's going to start feeling weird about it, which she might not have if you just kind of got on with things. Like, we've said this before, but we never think about our age gap in our
No, never.
relationship.
Yeah,
Ever.
until we sit down and do a video like this. I forget that you're 12 years younger than me. Same with the women that we date. Most of them are early 20s, sometimes 18-year-olds.
And it's funny though, because I've been hit on multiple times where one of the first things a guy says is, "I'm probably too old for you."
Yeah,
or
well,
like,
that-
"I'm
yeah,
old enough to
fucking
be your
hell, yeah.
dad," or like, and I'm like,
Hey,
"Ugh."
listen, you're probably actually not going to be interested in me, but well, now I'm fucking not. Hey, just letting you know that I'm not actually worthy of you and I'm not a good enough person for you to date and you should probably run for the hills. Anyway, how's your day going? You're so pretty. Yeah, so many guys come into approaches like that where they're like, I'm sorry for bothering you. And it's like, well, now I'm thinking that you're bothering me. I wasn't even thinking that until you said it. So in general, if you're weird and almost like ashamed or feeling guilty of something, yes, it will be a bigger problem. The same thing for any of you guys out there that haven't had sex yet. So many of you have this deep insecurity about it to the point where you make it fucking weird. One of the best things you can ever do for yourself is give yourself permission to suck and say, hey, look, I don't have a lot of experience. Cool. I'm going to go find the people that either don't care or are kind of a little bit excited about that. And yes, there are people out there are women out there who will be excited about the fact that you are a virgin. And you go, but it's a disgusting, gross thing that I'm a virgin. To you, it is. You label it as that. There are women out there who are like, oh, I get to be his first. That's kind of exciting. Man, that's kind of cool. Wow, power. I'm not going to be jealous and insecure of other women he might have slept with. Wow, it's just going to be me. Oh, this is interesting. There are lots of women out there like that. Same with age gaps in casual or serious relationships. So many people want an older person to date. But if you're so obsessed with making it weird, then yeah, it will be weird. I say this a lot. When I'm trying to connect with someone, I focus on the similarities, not the differences. And so many times, so many of you will go, oh, I'm too short, so that's weird, and she's not going to like that. Or she's from a different culture, and so, we're not going to be able to relate to each other. Or she's on the left and I'm on the right. How are we going to relate? Why are you obsessing about the differences? Why don't you focus on the similarities? That's how we connect with other human beings. We don't connect with people based on differences. We set our differences aside, or we understand the person's differences and say, tell me more, I want to get to know you. And then we look for similarities. So the same thing with age gaps. If you stop obsessing with like, well, she's going to listen to different music than me, and she uses words like Riz and fucking,
Ugh, eek,
you like
yuck,
those words,
no.
Riz and fucking what other words are culturally relevant right now? Bussy. That's not relevant. I don't know. Planking. Let's use old words. Can trigger these people. Anyway, if you focus on the differences in culture and the differences in musical taste and the differences in your age and the differences in your life experiences, then yes, you're going to have nothing in common, or it's going to feel like you have nothing in common with someone who's like 5, 10, or 15 years younger than you or more. But if you focus on the similarities, you will see a human being trying to do their best, just like you. You will see a human being who's trying to find some love and who wants to be happy and who wants to just be a good person and all of that, just like you. There are so many similarities that you can grow and evolve together based on those. So if you look for the similarities, you will connect a lot more. And that's all we ever did. I was like, all right, you're into self-improvement. You seem to be ambitious. You seem to have a lot of hobbies. You are quite intelligent. Tell me more about you. And you said, tell me more about you. And then we found a million things we could connect on.
And I think as well as similarities, also considering like what it is that you have to offer. Like if you
Yeah.
are a guy out there that is feeling uneasy about an age gap, or you want to date younger women, or you're more attracted to younger women, but there's something that feels like you have some guilt around
You're
that.
nervous and guilty and weird
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
maybe consider like the positives and actually take some time to really ponder on like what it is that you have to offer this person, or making sure that in any relationship that you offer them something. Think about what you can give them. And I think especially what naturally evolved in our relationship is that you were kind of like a guiding presence, and especially at the age of
Like a
18,
coach, like
you
a mentor.
helped me figure out like what I wanted to be doing, or the things that I cared about, at I guess quite a pivotal stage in my life when I was kind of figuring myself out and
Hmm.
evolving as an adult. So that was really appealing and very attractive to me. One of the things that, I probably wouldn't have taken the guidance or maybe considered the words of a 20-year-old in the same way,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're just like,
Yeah.
they're just my peer. And it's like, we're all
Yeah.
just kind of figuring shit out together versus somebody who's maybe gone through some of the things that I was at the time going through.
Yeah. A lot of you older guys have a lot to offer just based on the fact that you've lived, like I said, for more than 10 years compared to the, 20-year-old. That is something in itself. That's quite a lot to offer. And you might say, yeah, but I haven't achieved anything. All I've done is a series of like mistakes. They're not mistakes, they're learning experiences. And on that point, you have a lot to teach, or a lot that you can offer someone that's younger than you. You don't have to get in there and be a life coach or a mentor to them. I only do that stuff because I obviously enjoy it. But just little kind words of encouragement here and there. Like, you're dating some 20-something-year-old woman, you're in your 30s, she's going through a rough time at work, and you go, hey, you can get a different job if you want to. It'll be okay. Why don't you just work somewhere else? And she goes, thanks, that helps. We had a girl that we dated for a little while, and literally this happened. She wasn't happy with her boss. Talking about the woman that starts with N. Yeah, you know who I mean. And she wasn't happy with her boss, and I was like, why don't you just like get a different job? Like, why don't you ask if you can transfer? Same job, I think same company or something, but like different people that you're working with. And so she did that. And a couple of weeks later, she came back and she's like, wow, I'm so much happier. I wouldn't have even thought of that. And so it's not like some 420 IQ advice that you're giving. You're just saying, hey, you don't have to stay there. Or, hey, you're doing a good job. Or, hey, I can see how hard you're trying with your fucking university studies or whatever. Keep going. I promise life gets easier. Or even just like, this is probably the main thing that older guys have to offer is, I know you're really struggling as a younger person, a younger woman, to identify like who you want to be, how you want to go through life, what kind of impact you want to have on your friends and the world and all of that. I can help a little bit. Do you want to bounce some ideas off of me? Or I promise you'll figure it out. Because a lot of people in their early 20s have a lot of doubt. And so if you literally just offer a little bit of guidance or like, hey, I promise you'll figure it out, that goes a long way. So again, these are things that you might not think about as an older guy. But like you said, it's probably worth getting out a piece of paper or do it on your computer. Write down a list of things that you have to offer. And when you're a lot more clear about what it is that you have to offer, you will feel a lot more comfortable dating people that maybe you're nervous to date. Again, a lot of you older guys are just nervous. Like, that's all this is. You're nervous. You really want to date 18 to 25-year-old girls, but you secretly fear that none of them will be into you. And again, to be very clear, lots of them won't. But the mission was never to make every single 18 to 30-year-old or whatever you're interested in, every single woman in that age range be interested in you. Why would that ever be possible? But a lot of you are going around thinking that that's the mission, or at least to avoid rejection. I have to make sure that no woman ever says you're too old. There are going to be some women who literally say you are too old. And then you go, cool, that's beautiful. I love that you know what you want and what you don't want.
I think something else to address actually, or maybe one of the primary reasons why younger people aren't always into older people, it comes down to an appearance thing.
Social stigma, yeah, 100%. Because it's like weird and like,
That's actually not where I was going with that, but I was going to say that like actually taking care of your appearance, because as you get older, people naturally let themselves go a little bit, or maybe it's not as simple to like be lean and look decent because your skin does age and you might need to take more effort with your grooming, and people do put on weight. But if you are somebody that like it's not hard to look very young in your 30s.
for sure.
I
Yeah.
remind myself of that even though I'm worried about turning 30. But if you take care of your skin, like manage your weight, go to the gym, you're going to look like a 20-something-year-old anyway.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's not going to come up in conversation because you're not going to look like an old man. But if you don't take like you can let yourself go and make yourself look like an old man in your 30s if you're not conscious of it. But you can keep yourself looking young and vital and attractive like well into your 30s if you look after yourself.
Yeah, the majority of younger women that we date and sleep with together, usually they're like 18 to, I don't know, 25. Almost none of them ever ask my age. And then when they find out, like it'll randomly come up in conversation after we've been seeing each other for a few weeks or months. They almost all seem a little bit surprised. They're like, oh, I didn't realize you were like 37. Oh, I thought you were a bit younger. And then you're like, yeah, cool. Yeah.
And you don't even do skincare.
Yeah, I don't even do a hell of a lot to make myself.
help though.
Yeah, so it doesn't take a ton of effort to look after yourself. Like it really is the bare minimum. I don't even do a hell of a lot with that. Like I really don't. And so just trying already sets you apart of every other guy in his 30s because most guys are not trying. I know a lot of you go on Instagram and places like that and you go, but every guy in his 30s looks like a god and he has 10 million followers and he has Lamborghinis. Stop. Get off social media. Fucking no more social media. You're all banned. No more social media. It's just making you sad. Go on there and look at puppies and kittens. That'll make you happy. And then you'll be like,
change that algorithm.
yeah, we got to change the algorithm. How about could you imagine, holy shit, I'm getting off tangent here, but could you imagine if every even just one social media platform was like on International Mental Health Day, what if we fucking cook the algorithm and make it like only serve you stuff designed to make you happy? So what if we just do the 180 of the algorithm? So here you go. So all they do is they go, if you were going to show someone this video, don't. Show them any random video other than the algorithm. So just like delete the algorithm and just literally serve people random fucking videos. And I bet you that has a higher chance of happiness than the fucking algorithms at the moment. Anyway.
That's probably like an app idea though, is to
just serve random content. Yeah.
not serve random content, but to like
Serve you happy
play with
content.
people's algorithms, to like have this running in the background for like 10, 24 hours. We're going to change your algorithm so it's only
Happy.
giving you like cat videos and
Yeah.
puppies and
Yeah.
ducks and
Make you happy.
bunnies.
Or give you motivational advice content or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, side tangent. Yes, if you're an older guy, you are absolutely allowed to date younger women. If you're a younger woman, yeah, you can date older guys. I feel like younger women kind of get it, although some of them do have a bit of a stigma and nervousness around that. Like, what if people judge me? What if they say I'm a slut? What if they say I have daddy issues?
Yeah, because keeping in mind, my family had a horrible reaction to finding out that I was dating somebody in their 30s when I told them, and that was a whole thing. But it went really badly, and obviously focusing on that isn't going to help. Like, it's not making a big deal of it that's going to give you the happiest, most fun, enjoyable dating experience for everybody.
Yes, so you're allowed to date younger women. Plenty of them out there will like you. Plenty of them won't. That's cool. Your mission was not to make every woman like you. Your mission was to find the ones that maybe will, or that already do, or that go, holy shit, yes, please, sir. Yes, please, sir. I'm going to be a good girl for you. Like, there's so many women out there. Holy crap, there are so many women out there going, I wish I had an older guy who just had his own apartment or his own job, or was just older and he looks better. There are lots of women that are literally physically attracted to older men. And I get questions sometimes from guys in the group, and I want to give them a big hug. We got asked this question like 3 weeks ago, where a guy was like, I'm starting to get some gray hairs in my beard. And I was like, good, some women will find that a fetish. And he was like, wait, really? Why don't you Google it? And he Googled it for half a second. And there's lots of women who are like, I like men with a little bit of gray in their beard
Like
because
salt and pepper, thyme, silver fox
it's a
energy.
fucking fetish, for God's sakes. Same as like going bald. So many guys like freak out. Like, what if I go bald? It's like, do you know how many women will sit there and like rub your head like butter and like rub their clit while they rub your head? Lots
I
of
mean,
women.
that's never happened, and I've never heard of it.
In their
but,
fantasies.
is that your fantasy?
Yeah, it's my fantasy that she's like rubbing her. Yeah. Anyway, plenty of women like bald guys, plenty of women like short kings, plenty of women like older guys. If you would just let go of the damn shame and guilt around it, because that's universally unattractive. That's the thing that's universally unattractive. Going, I'm too old. It's probably going to be weird and creepy. And it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to have doubts and insecurities. I'm not saying just get rid of your insecurities. But if you latch onto them and say, oh God, like I need to walk over and say, I'm too old. I know I'm too old for you. That's not fucking sexy. Literally no one is like, oh wow, I love that he thinks he's too old for me. That's sexy. But if you walk over and say, hey, I'm a little nervous because I know there's an age gap between us, but I thought, fuck it, I'll come say hi. Like that's taking ownership of it. Like take ownership of it. Don't just say it as this weird thing that you're kind of secretly shameful of and guilty about. So come out in front of it. Yes, I'm an older guy. I'm looking for younger women. Cool, sweet. Some women are into that, some are not.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you have much more to say, but if you are somebody that is wanting some help and some guidance and some reassurance around this, because it's one thing to like watch this video and hear this, but you know, if you go out there, and especially if you go out there and you have some women comment on your age, like that can be disheartening
You
or
get sad. So many of you
yeah.
boys out there are sad because you're like, a woman told me that I'm too old or too short or ugly, and you like latch onto that and keep that forever. You put it in your pocket. You're like, I'm going to carry that around close to my heart. I'm too old and I'm gross and I'm short and I'm pathetic and I'm a loser. It's like, that was one person, bro.
And it's easy to do. Like the amount of compliments I've had in my life versus criticisms, like especially around like looks and appearance, would like be heavily outweighed in the positive. But what
You
do I
latch
remember
on,
more?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember all the time somebody that said something not too favorable about
On
my
the-
appearance.
On this YouTube comment, how many like hundreds of positive, nice comments do we get? And then someone will be like, this guy's wrong and he's stupid and he's bald and his girlfriend's a dumb bitch. And
you
then
think
I'll be
about
like,
that one
all right, like
all
what,
week.
what made him say that? Why did he say, is there something I can do from that? Like, yeah, I remember that. And that's just the way the brain works.
Yeah, but the point being, if you want a community of people that get it, that are working on the same thing, that are going to be able to support you and help you kind of work through those times where you might ruminate and dwell, then the coaching is a really good
Hell
place
yeah,
for
ladies
that.
and gentlemen, coaching down below. Now is the perfect time to sign up. Absolutely the perfect time. Come join, like you said, a bunch of people that are just like, hey, what are your goals? Is it going to add to your life and the lives of other people around you? If it is, fuck yeah, let's make it happen. No judgment, no shame. One of the coaching clients who just finished up recently, and I just did a video with him, that'll be out in the next day or two, actually. No, by the time you listen to this, that'll already be out. He said it best. He's like, I've never found a more welcoming, motivating, wonderful sense of people. And he's not just talking about the coaches, like the other people in the group, anywhere in my whole life. Like I've never been able to find somewhere where I can just say, this is my goal. And they're like, sweet, here's the first 10 steps. Go do this, go try this, come back and report to us. He said, I've never found anyone like that. Everywhere else, like friends, family, even other coaching programs that he's been in, he's like, people will still judge and they'll say, nah, bro, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. You should be doing this instead. No, bro, like you're wasting your time there. You need to do this. And he said, this is the only place in my entire life I have ever found a group of people that as long as the goal is good for me and the people around me, they just say, fucking let's do it, man. Do this. Let's make it happen. So if that appeals to you, we have payment plans for the coaching. I'm very happy to jump on a free call with you, talk through any fears, doubts, insecurities, etc. that you might have. So I'm doing a free call. There's a guy that's already in the process of applying for the coaching program right now. Very insecure, right? Like deeply, 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 deeply insecure. So many worries and fears. And I'm just gently talking him through that. So he literally said, I'm not sure that I can do a coaching program like this. I'm worried that I can't. And so if you're in that same situation where you're like, I don't know, man, like I want to, but I'm scared. I'm scared I won't make the most of it. I'm scared I won't be able to achieve my goals. I'm scared I'll make a bad financial decision. I am right here. I will literally hold your hand and we will walk through it together and I will help you make that decision. And if you end up saying no, namaste, beautiful, amazing. I will have nothing but love in my heart for you. If you end up saying yes, we will absolutely change your fucking life. So there's a link down below. Like I said, payment plans, all that good shit. Come join the coaching program. And if you're a guy out there who wants to date younger women, I promise you, as long as they are of legal age, there are plenty out there that are going to be into you. Your mission is to go out there and find them. If you're inexperienced, maybe you're even a virgin, you've probably been sitting around trying really hard to lose it and give yourself that beautiful, amazing sex life that you've always wanted. It's time to actually do this thing for real.
Here's just a little taste of some of what we've helped our inexperienced clients achieve. Theo lost his virginity, had a bunch of sex, and even participated in an orgy. Ed was a 31-year-old virgin with extreme erectile dysfunction. He's since gone on to have a wildly abundant sex life and is now a coach alongside me in our coaching program. We helped Ravi lose his virginity at age 30 and go on to build the type of amazing sex life he never dreamed was possible. Jeff hadn't had sex in 9 years and ended up having sex within just 5 weeks of coaching. No matter what your experience level, if having more sex and having more wildly abundant, awesome, amazing sexual experiences with your intimate partner is something that's important to you, let us help. That's what we're here for. There's a link in the description below to the coaching. Click that and come and join us. But I promise you, if these clients can do it, you absolutely sure as hell can too.